Jesus. I know it's just black. I was getting stuff set up. Alright. Holy fuck. This is really hard to manage. I need help on how to manage streams.
You need the stream coaching lessons.
I need the stream coaching lessons, yeah. That will make my life better. Okay? You guys have no idea. Alright. Alright, you ready? Okay,
Yeah,
so,
let's go.
Alright, so, for those that aren't aware in the chat, okay, Eric here requested a vocal coaching session, and this is a session that I don't think I've ever done on stream before, and I don't think I've ever uploaded, no, I haven't actually, I've never uploaded it to YouTube or anything. So, the whole emphasis of vocal coaching sessions are to try to attack and break down the person's mental blocks or their thought processes, and basically have conversations about them, arguments, you know, whatever, in hopes that somehow it breaks the mental block that they're having, and slash where it just gives them new perspective in which they can take and then apply to their own gameplay, not just for League of Legends, but any game that comes out. So anyways, like Eric, I was saying to you earlier, you know, about the thing about, like, Donald Trump or something, okay? Like, if you bankrupt Donald Trump and you take away all his assets, you know, you strip him of his name, you take away absolutely everything, he will find a way, obviously not just Donald Trump, but he will find a way again to become a billionaire. You know, like, that's not really arguable, but it's because of he knows how, and he understands it. You know what I mean? Like, he just understands what to do. And likewise, you know, like, you can look at pro players or something, okay? And generally, when a pro player is a pro at a video game, it's generally because they get something. But it's not usually just inside of that video game. Now, obviously, you'll have cases where it won't translate over or something. But there's not really a coincidence that, you know, when Warcraft 3 or WoW professionals or, you know, all these different genre pros came to StarCraft 2 or something, they got to the absolute highest levels. You know what I mean? Like, they got there. Now, whether or not they've remained there is a different thing, because as the game moved on, as it evolved, etc., the meta changed, the opinions and the theory behind the game changed, motivation changes, passion changes, etc. Like, but it's like the 80% theory. I forgot what the name of the fucking theory itself is. It's something in psychology, and I heard it, or I saw it, or learned about it, like, many, many years ago, like 7 years ago or some shit. And it's something to do with the number 80%, where basically, like, sometimes when I coach people and I bring this up, I use, like, Naniwa as an example, the StarCraft 2 player, where Naniwa has probably not played StarCraft 2 in about, what, a year or something like that? But if he were to come back, it would only probably take him about 2 to 3 weeks to get back on top where he was. And it has nothing to do with, like, you know, it has nothing to do with training, or it has nothing to do with practice. It has nothing to do with how much the game has changed. Now, obviously, if the game changes to the point where it's a different game, then it's a different case. But throughout gaming history, at least to my knowledge, okay, and this is just what I'm saying, is, you know, there was always this thing. In StarCraft 1, it was very potent, I guess, in the sense that there was a lot of players like Rhett or Testy or Mondragon or all these players that they would not play a lot. And sometimes they would take breaks for really, really, really long times, okay? And then they would come back and within 2 to 3 weeks be right where they were before. And they would get to where they were before, which was an edge ahead of everyone, but they weren't the absolute best. I mean, they were the absolute best in terms of foreigners, but they weren't the absolute best in general. You know, because it basically just enables you to get back to where you were at before. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. So, anyways, moving on from that, like, when it comes to solo queue and stuff, okay? And this is something that I told you I was going to talk about. So I asked you, I think yesterday, right? Like, what your champion pool is. So, tell me. So first off, what's your ELO?
Right now it's low gold.
Okay, so you're low gold, like, what does low gold translate to? I don't even, just say it. Like, gold 1,
Right.
gold 1, gold 5, it's all the same shit.
I'm
literally.
gold 5, man. It's
Okay.
embarrassing.
You're, like, telling me, like, well, I'm, like, asking you for your fucking level in math, and you're like, well, I can do long division. I'm like,
It's a thing.
yeah, I'm like, well, that's fucking wonderful. I don't care if you can do long division or short division. I'm not fucking, like,
Is short division even a thing?
I don't, you just answered your own question. Like, so, okay, like, is gold 5 a thing? No, it's not. So anyways, first off, let me ask you this, okay? Because this goes out to everyone that fucking says, does ELO Hell exist? Do you believe ELO Hell exists?
Absolutely not.
Okay, you can't because ELO boosting exists.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't.
the perfect counterproof to LOL.
You can't believe that ELO Hell exists because there are fucking ELO boosters. You can't just say that they're all ocelots individually, and they get all climb the ladder because, I mean, yeah. So, anyways, like, so you're gold 5, 4?
Yes.
Okay, you're gold 5. Okay, so basically, you're gold 5. Okay, and what lanes are you playing?
Mostly support, ADC, top.
So you play support, ADC, and top. So what do you play for support champions?
Mostly Nami, Thresh, Janna.
What do you play for top?
Jace, Pantheon.
And what else?
Yorick sometimes.
Okay.
Rise sometimes,
I'm gonna put sometimes
Yeah.
in parentheses. Okay. So you're seeing my screen, right? Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Let me change the font. Like 16 or something. Alright, there we go. What do you play for ADC? Go ahead, let me
Mostly-
fucking guess. Hold on, can I guess
Okay,
first?
yeah, go for it.
Do you play Ezreal?
No.
Holy shit. Alright, never mind, I'm stunned already. Alright, do you play Corki?
Yeah, Corki like 80% of the time.
Of course. Like 80%. Great. Do you play Kog'Maw?
No.
Okay. Alright, go ahead, tell me already carries.
If I'm not on Corki, I'm gonna do Varus.
Nope. Varus? The fuck? That's really out there. You're like coming at me with like Galio mid, you say Varus. No, I'm okay. Alright, go ahead. Who else?
If I have to, like Lucian, but really Corki and Varus aren't contested picks, so it's mostly just those two on ADC.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna go 80%, 19%, 1%, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy shit. Alright. So first off, okay. Alright, so we're gonna break down something about your ELO in relation to your champion pool. Now, first off, lots of people, they always like message me on Facebook. I'm sure if I like pulled open my Facebook right now, what the fuck? I'm sure if I dig like through my messages or whatever, I can find you messages of people asking me like what mid champions are the best, what 80 carries are the best, whatever. It doesn't matter which ones are the best. Okay, like it doesn't. Okay, now the fact that you're gold 5 and you're trying to tame Nami, you're trying to tame Thresh, and you're trying to tame Janna, it's like you're telling me that you're trying to use a fucking Rayquaza in a Pokemon fight when you only control a level 3 badge, which means that Rayquaza doesn't even fucking listen to you half the time. That's the god honest Rayquaza. Yeah, he's good if you have the badge to control him. You're like fucking walking in here like you just fucking beat Brock and Misty and you're trying to go up against the Elite Four. Like, what are you doing? Like, so many people, this is actually the greatest fucking paradox in all of League of Legends, okay? Is that people, they see these champions get picked in LCS, right? And then they take it to solo queue, and then they lose and it's their teammates' fault. You know?
I'm not saying that.
No, I know, but these champions are holding you back, okay? Because if you had the mechanics, okay? If you had the mechanics simply to get to Diamond 5, you can get to Diamond 5 only off mechanics. I swear to fucking God, you could get to Diamond 5 playing APZ with Lichbane Nashers. Honest to God, okay? Like, if you had the mechanics to play these champions, you would not be Gold 5. Period.
Right.
And a lot of people, they counter this argument by saying, well, the enemy doesn't have the same mechanics
to punish me because I can't play these champions. It's kind of like when I posted the Kosidin tweet during Summer LCS, and a lot of people tweeted at me that, like, well, yeah, you're making a lot of mistakes on Kosidin, your opponent can't punish you. No! That's fucking wrong. Okay, so we're gonna use a Magic the Gathering, okay? Or did you play Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic? Anything?
No.
God damn it! All
Not
right.
a card game guy.
Okay, well, bear with me, okay? So imagine. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this analogy make sense too, okay? Like, so imagine you have like this fucking you have this deck over here, okay? And it has like, I don't know, like, I'll fucking draw for you, okay? You have this deck, okay? And inside of it, okay, is shitloads of, like, spells and control cards and, like, all these really complex things that kind of go into each other and, like, they do different things and, like, you know, together they make the deck really good, okay?
Sure.
But to make the deck perform at a pro level, you have to have a really deep understanding of, like, how the deck works. Now, the deck is not bad. If you take it from the internet and you build it at your local card shop and you go in there, the deck will win for you sometimes. Okay. But in the same sense, there's this other deck, okay? So this deck has, like, a shitload of, like, laws and theory to it, okay? And it has a shitload of different answers, a shitload of different responses, and it has all these different, like, possible options and answers to every situation presented to it. And what makes the deck so good is that in the hands of a pro player, okay, it becomes this, like, Leviathan that, like, it becomes really hard to take down, it becomes really hard to overcome, okay? Now, in the same sense, you have this other deck, okay, that's over here, and it has, like, 20 of the same thing, okay? And all of those same things have one goal, which is just to, like, attack your enemy. That's it. Okay?
It's like a Murloc deck.
Like a Murloc, yeah. Yes, Hearthstone, Murlocs. Exactly. Okay, great, you play Hearthstone. Okay, so okay, let me use Murlocs. Okay, so even the best player in the world can only play Murlocs so good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, if the Murloc's level, okay, if the deck's level is 50, okay, and, like, let's say that, you know, there's no necessary cap, okay? Maybe the best player in the world can make that deck have a 75 rating.
Gotcha.
Okay? And if you're an absolutely terrible player and you don't know what you're doing, it's still pretty hard to fail with the deck, and the deck still gets a 30 rating.
It's Murlocs. How do you mess up Murlocs?
Exactly. It's Murlocs. You can't fuck it up. Right. So, in the same sense, okay, now let's take a look at Zed, okay? And I'm bringing up Zed because everyone... But I saw Bjergsen do all these flashy highlights on Reddit, and I want to do that too. Well, if you could do it too, you wouldn't need to be fucking playing Zed to get into Diamond or something. Like, anyways, so we're gonna go over to Zed, and let's say Zed has a base. Now Zed's base kit, okay, is actually higher than 50. So Murloc's base kit is 50. Like, what their deck is, you know, whatever. Zed's base kit is like, you know, let's go up even higher than 75. Let's go to like 90 or something, okay? Jesus, that's the ugliest 9 ever. Let's go up to 90, okay? So Zed's base kit is 90, all right? So he comes with a much more complex kit in terms of, like, what he's able to do and how he's able to maneuver himself around the map and do everything, all right? In the hands of a pro player, Zed goes up to, like, 210 or something. He becomes this, like, really fucking scary thing, okay? In the hands of your average player, aka just your average regular person picking up Zed, okay, Zed actually does not stay at his base kit. Whereas Murlocs, your average player picking up Murlocs remains at 50, okay? Your average player picks up Zed, and Zed actually gets worse, okay, because his kit is at 90. So then your average player picks it up, and Zed drops to 65. This is just with an average player or something. Now, these numbers are obviously completely fictional, okay?
Of course.
But then you have a bad player pick Zed, and Zed drops even lower. He drops to, like, 30.
Same as Murlocs.
Same as Murlocs. Okay, exactly. But this is with a really bad player. You know, like, so
Right.
it drops really low, and then Zed can go really high. But Zed's base is still higher than the average player's. Okay? Like, the average player cannot tame him. All right.
Right.
So,
There's just so much you have to do that it's impossible to even play him somewhat competently.
right, and if you had the game knowledge and the mechanics to play him competently, you wouldn't need to play him. Do you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be in that ELO. You wouldn't need to rely on who's the best mid, who's the best, who's the best AD carry, who's the best support, who's the best champion, who did Bjergsen just play in fucking LCS, and what did Wild Turtle just pick, and oh my god, Helios just played this in ladder. Like, that would be completely fucking irrelevant. Now, back to the Magic thing, okay? So, say you take this control deck, okay? So, basically, you play Hearthstone, so control is like Frost Giants or Handlock, okay?
Yeah, sure.
And this red deck wins, this is like Murloc, okay? So, Handlock, as you know yourself, okay, the better the player is, the scarier that deck gets. And to a certain degree, right? Because Hearthstone kind of is limited. It's limited, not limited like because the game's bad or something, but limited in the sense that it hasn't had enough time to develop like Magic the Gathering. You know what I mean? Or like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever. So anyways, you take this control deck, okay, and you take it to your local Friday Night Magic or your local card shop for a Friday night tournament, okay? And you do reasonably well, okay? You do, 6-2. Or something, right? 6 wins, 2 losses, you end up doing really well. But your wins were really close, okay? Like, maybe in some games you won by, like, 6 life, other games you won by 8 life, other games you won by, like, 9 life, or, like, like, whatever. Obviously, again, these numbers are fictional, but now, you give this Magic deck, this same deck, to the creator of it, okay, that played it at a Grand Prix or something. He goes to your same local Friday Night Magic, and his score is 8-0, and his victories are all, like, ridiculously high life points or something. And it's like no one wants to fucking play him. No one wants to go up against him. And it has nothing to do with the deck. It has to do with the pilot. Okay? And so this comes back to people cannot pilot this champion. You're gold. You can't pilot Zed. And it doesn't matter if the other enemy can't pilot the enemy champion. That's irrelevant. Because you can't pilot Zed, you don't have your level 8 badge, okay? Because you didn't beat fucking Giovanni, okay? Your Pokemon, aka Zed, okay? He requires the 8th badge. You're trying to control him, and you have, like, you just beat the bitch at Lavender Town. So, Zed won't listen to you, okay? And so he gets confused, and he smacks himself half the time, okay? Like, does that make sense?
No, I totally get it.
Okay, so in the same sense, it's like, yeah, Nami, Thresh, Janna. Now, support is kind of, it's in an awkward position because obviously, there's limited support champions that are both viable and good and not, like, really complex, okay? But with that being said, you don't need to be playing Thresh, okay?
Gotcha.
Janna's okay. It doesn't take much for Janna to run up to enemies and apply her passive. Doesn't take much for Janna to press R in some ways. Now, Janna's a champion that she can be taken to a new level. Now, let's bring up, like, Janna's hypothetical numbers or whatever, okay? Janna has 70, okay? In the hands of an average player, maybe Janna's, like, 65, okay? In the hands of a pro player, she can go up again to, like, 200. Okay, so she has a really big climb, but she doesn't really have much of a fall in the hands of an average player, and then in the hands of a really bad player, maybe Janna's like 40 or 45 or something. Like, she doesn't really fall off that much. And this is the argument for, like, Rise and stuff. Like, these are champions that they're really easy to learn, but they're really hard to master, and that's why they have these really big, like, skill gaps at the top. And now you'll take a champion that they don't have a very big skill gap. Like, okay, like Teemo, all right? Like, everyone's favorite fucking Yordle. And Teemo, like, maybe his base, difficulty or something is like 35. In the hands of a pro player, maybe he goes up to like 65. Well, that's not very high. That's not a,
That's not giving a lot of credit to Teemo.
No, Teemo can be pretty good, actually. Like, he does have to have a cerebral,
But
like, he
I
does
don't
have
think
to.
the economics are important.
No, right, and in the hands of a really bad player or something, Teemo falls to, like, I don't know, like 10 or something. Like, have you ever seen you've had your Teemos on the team that goes 0-8 and blame the enemies and your own teammate? Okay, so, but he has an E which is on perma passive. His W is a fucking escape. His Q is a goddamn blind. and he gets like 3 mushrooms a minute. So like it's not really difficult. You know what I mean? To like play him or
place all your
control him.
mushrooms, someone's gonna hit them eventually.
Yeah, exactly. So, in that sense, it's like champions like that exist. Now, Nami, there's a shitload of pro players, okay, that until like recent times, now obviously, pro players can obviously learn her and stuff, but there was a time where a lot of players in foreign regions weren't playing Nami. She was only being picked up in like Korea and China. And when they did pick her up, it was a little awkward to actually learn her. You know what I mean? Now, she is a good champion, but again, she's not like in the Janna area where it's not really hard to not fuck up. Do you know what I mean? Like, Nami does still have to have some skill. Like, yeah, she has the heal, she has the poke, but even the poke is like a little bit of Sona, where you do put yourself into danger, and then the bubble's kind of awkward to hit, and then you have to factor in your ping. You know, like, I wrote pig, because I couldn't fucking draw the G. Anyways, so it's like, I don't know, does that make sense? I mean, Bronzodia speaks for itself. Why does Bronzodia exist? Because Malphite, it's not hard to press R. Like, you know what I mean?
Malphite's like, Bronzodia?
Isn't he? Yeah,
I don't know. Don't you have to, like, sacrifice 3 monsters to get Exodia?
5.
5? Oh, wow.
Something.
But then you, like, win the game or something, don't you?
Yeah, you draw... Well, you have to just draw his 5 pieces.
My whole Yu-Gi-Oh! Knowledge comes from watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which is not the best.
Fuck. So, okay. So, the other thing, okay, is that, you know, like, you have Jason here, okay? Now, I'm no pro player. In fact, I'm pretty fucking bad, okay? I can't play Jace, okay? With all my mechanics on other champions or whatever, I'm just using myself as, like, the example, okay? I can't play Jace. If I took 20, 30 games to play Jace, it still wouldn't be competent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be whatever. And that's with heightened mechanics, okay? Now, in the same sense, obviously pros can play him, and LCS players, challenger players, you know, etc. They can control him. But why are you playing a champion that, again, they have this really big skill gap,
Right.
depending on your ability to use their mechanics and your ability to use.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, it's fun to shoot shock blasts at them, but we saw like in the championship of Korn, he sucked on Jace and it totally screwed his team over.
So, yeah, no, but that's my point. Is that like you can't count on bad Jaces. It's kind of like you look at it and it's like, God damn, I wish you were like a Wukong right now. You know, like it like
just press R, do something useful.
Exactly. How many times do you get someone in your team and you're like, I wish that was another champion? There's a lot of times, and it's kind of like, okay, I used to give this analogy about Faker's Riven versus random shit, you know, Diamond X Rivens, okay? I would be more afraid of Faker having 2 core items on his Riven than a random, you know, Diamond 1 Master Challenger Riven that doesn't really play her that much or something, okay, having 5 core items. That's the god honest truth. Because I know Faker's manipulation of animation canceling, his, you know, his ability to do like combos with the QWE and Flash and everything like that, his knowledge of positioning and gameplay, his foresight with damage outputs, his foresight with positioning and rotational play, etc. It all completely goes over anything that those players have, okay? And when you see a really good Riven, you shit bricks in some ways. If that Riven gets fed, the game becomes like a really big nightmare. And I was coaching a Syndra. Okay, I'm gonna jump into a Syndra talk right now. And so many players think Syndra's easy. Okay, and they're like, oh, Syndra's not a hard champion. She's really easy, and blah 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 blah. It may feel easy because of the damage that she deals. It's kind of like AP Tristana or something. Like it doesn't take much to do.
Yeah, you just press R and they die. It's so easy.
Right, exactly. You press R and they die. But then, as you go up the ELOs, okay, and you know, you get higher up and people start resisting you more, okay, you run into people that not only know how to position against AP Tristana, they also itemize against her properly. Okay, and Banshee's Veil is a big bitch for Tristana AP. But anyway, like, what I mean by that is Syndra, okay, yes, like the enemy team, the enemy mid laner or something, they probably don't move very well, like in the lane, okay? So it's very easy to land your Q plus E, okay? And then it's very easy to press R and deal shitloads of damage, all right? But in reality, okay, if, you know, a really, really, really good Syndra, like I'm talking, you know, Challenger or something, you know, they go into like Gold ELO, it's going to look like an entirely different game, okay? And a lot of people, they kind of chalk it up to, well, yeah, the player's Challenger. But it's not just the player's Challenger, it's a Challenger player picking Syndra, okay? And Syndra's a champion that scales with skill, you know?
Gotcha.
Like, so it doesn't, there's more to be used, and again, it goes back to this, like, Magic the Gathering deck with all these obstacles, okay?
Right, you just have so much more tools at your disposal that the higher ELO player understands how to properly use.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Okay. So, because she can use all these skills, okay, the higher ELO player knows when the enemy Ahri makes a misstep, okay? And that player insta-Q plus E's her. You're on Syndra, and you're like, nope, we gotta get in the line first because, you know, Wings of Death X said so, you know, on a stream that one time that I should always be at this angle. And they take this random shit for gospel, okay? There is no gospel in League, okay? Like, there's theory, and then there is some law in terms of rotational play that does not have, potential answers. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is some rotational maneuvers which simply do not have an answer, except for the mechanic part. Like,
Gotcha.
You can make a perfect call, but if you know, fumble it mechanically, it doesn't matter how good the call is. You know what I mean? That's why League's not like chess. But anyways, like, you have all these players, and I know because they, you know, people come and ask me and shit, and they're like, they think I'm like a walking fucking encyclopedia of League, and I'm not. Like, what someone says in one particular instance is just that one instance. You know what I mean? It doesn't apply to every single fucking situation, and people don't get that. They think that because, you know, Bjergsen said one thing on stream this one time, and he was playing Ahri mid, and he did this thing, that it must always be that way. You know, it's written in stone that that is gospel, and, you know, he's fucking Moses, and everyone is a liar and should be burned, and, you know, etc. But what ends up happening, okay, is like, say for instance, okay, there's an Ahri versus Fizz matchup. And say, for some reason, the Ahri gets really far ahead and the Ahri goes Guardian Angel, okay? And this is something that Korean players were doing on Korea for a very short while in an Ahri versus Fizz matchup. They were rushing Guardian Angel. And it was obviously really odd, and it was really bizarre. But the logic and the reasoning behind it, you can't just take it at face value. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just look at it once and be like, oh, okay, that's good. You know, I'm just going to go and do that. Like, that's not how it works. Like, what you don't see is that the Ahri recalls at, you know, X minute, and their gold is, you know, Y. And so
all the variables leading up in terms of their business damage, their gold, when they were able to back, when they had to back, when they could force Fizz to back, all those things going into it, right?
Right. Okay. So with that being said, okay, so we're gonna make like this little like variable thing, okay? So this, Jesus, I can't draw a fucking circle to save my life. This blue thing is the variable, okay? And so, Jesus, I cannot cut.
So that's a variable?
No. You'll see. Okay, calm down. Okay, so like these are all the variables, okay, that go into that like fucking random ass build, okay? And what your average gold 5, you know, platinum low diamond player sees, okay? That's all they see. They see this, which is the Guardian Angel.
Right.
Okay? And this is the issue with ELO, okay? I told you earlier that I think there's no excuse to not be at least Diamond 5 if you're taking the game somewhat serious. Because that, like, ELO, obviously this is a very bold statement, okay? That ELO, I'm under the belief, it's just my opinion, can be reached with simply mechanics, okay?
Right.
And I say that because I personally witnessed people troll up to that ELO, you know, playing AP Pantheon and lane and shit.
Yeah, it's like when
And
Destiny like fucking Diamond Master League with Queen only build on Zerg. Like,
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the God, like it's like that one time Bishu or something, the Nidalee master. He like beat a gold 1 with mouse only on Katarina.
right.
You know, like that's a champion that is heavily reliant on the keyboard. You know, because she kind of has to mash her face on it, like, you know. But he did it with his mouse only against I think it was a gold 1. I may be mistaken. Okay, because it has nothing to do with anything that everyone at these lower elos believe. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like the Bruce Lee thing that a punch is just a punch, and then a punch is more than a punch, and then a punch is just a punch. Okay, they're all stuck in step 2. Like, so they all think that, okay, so basically pro player says something, so it's like Bruce Lee, okay? Bruce Lee says something, okay? And then this is the logic and the reasoning, okay? And they all think that this, like, step 2 thing right here, okay, this matters, but it actually doesn't. This does not matter. As long as you understand it, as long as you have the answer, that's all that matters. Because if you have the answer and you do it enough, the logic and the reasoning will come, okay? It's kind of like what I told you earlier about, 2 plus 2, okay, equals 4, okay? Done, all right? But then you have some of the assholes and, like, some of those sadistic teachers that are like, show me 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, fucking little Johnny has 2 apples and Sally has 2 apples. And if they combine their apples, there is 4 apples. Wow, that's great. No, this is...
Yeah.
You don't fucking need to show that, okay? Like, it's
Right.
just 4. Like...
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, in super advanced PhD candidate, postdoctorate people, they do that. But for the average guy just doing math, you don't need to do this.
Right, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Now, let me show you something else, okay? So, gold, all right, you're probably sitting there. Now, there's also probably a lot of people that are going to watch this, okay? And they're like, they're sitting there and they're like, I'm gold 1 and I can't really get into platinum. Okay. Let me show you the MMR difference, okay? According to Korea's MMR algorithm, okay, in terms of what is the difference between plat 5 and gold 1, okay? It is 50 points. 50 points is done in 3 games of MMR. Okay? That's it. That is a fucking win streak or a loss streak. That's it. This doesn't exist. There is no plat 5 or gold 1. It does not exist. Promotion matches are a fucking lie. Like, Riot created them is a lie. They do not exist. MMR is all that exists, okay? And, like,
Of course.
when you stalemate, when you set a goal, okay, you'll notice that it becomes harder to reach the closer you get to that goal. And this doesn't apply to League of Legends. This applies to all these other types of games, okay? And it mostly has to do with a mental block. You put this pedestal that Platinum 5 or something is this god tier, and somehow there must be these rules and stuff that you must understand before you get there. I was playing on NA like a week and a half ago with one of my mod/subscribers, and something I saw in the chat once, okay? Because I just kept split pushing, okay? Like I built like Nashers on Annie or something because I had like 600 AP, and I just like, well, you guys are hopeless. Like, I'm just gonna actually kill the Nexus because this ELO is so terrible they don't even realize I'm in their base, okay? Like, so I just actually build Nashers and like Gunsu's Rage Blade, and like I backdoor as Annie with AP, you know, coming from Annie support or something. And it's because there's no such thing. And someone typed to me, you know, oh God, I thought, you know, by the time you reach this ELO, you would know this or you would know that. And I'm fucking sitting there, and I'm like, is this actually like, is this really fucking happening right now? Because okay, here I'm gonna show you what happens at a Magic the Gathering tournament. Okay, there's let's say there's 9 rounds. Here, let me open up my There's 9 total rounds. Okay. Now, so everyone that goes 8-0, okay, or you go 7-2, you go 6-3, etc. You all make it to round 9 differently. Okay? Everyone makes it there different. Okay. A few of the 8-0s, let's say that 20 of the 8-0s, okay, they're running red deck wins. Okay, RDW. Okay. And then let's say that there's 16 people running blue-white control. Or, is that? No, I think that's blue. Okay. Blue-white control. Okay. Maybe there's 4 people running mono-black. Okay. Maybe there's 1 person running, 5-color. 5-color control or something. Okay, these are obviously all fictional, okay? Everyone gets there differently. Okay? It's why I can continue to coach challenger players of all regions. Because not everyone knows the same stuff. Okay? Everyone,
it's there's basic fundamentals, but it's not like you learn this, and then only once that's mastered, you learn this next little tidbit of knowledge. It's not like a linear progression.
Right, exactly. So when everyone first starts up, the tournament or whatever, okay, there's 1,000 different decks. Okay, and amongst those, maybe there's 600 of, A, maybe there's 292 of B, then maybe there's, 30 of C, and then maybe there's 4 of D, and then maybe there's 11 of E, and then 600, this is like Oriana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is Oriana and every other fucking LCS pick. And then this here is the LCS pick from 2 weeks ago because they had to work and they didn't get to watch it or something. And then this is the people that they still build Bloodthirster and we're going into season 5. First item Bloodthirster, and then they tell you that you don't know how to play. Okay. That's C. And then 4, those are the delinquents. Those are the fucking rebels. Those are the Heimerdinger tops that tell you don't know what you're doing. And they're the, they're the poppy AP mids and the Gallios telling you he's actually a good and misunderstood champion. And the people that think that Victor's good, This is the Urgot that has 3,000 games and is in Silver 4, okay? And then you have the 11 that are, obviously running E, and this is I don't know, these are the Akalis, or the, the champions that, they're actually not that bad, but they're just not up there. Maybe you could swap C and E, but actually, I would swap C and E. I would swap C and E. So, that's pretty much what that is, okay? So, with that being said, okay, everyone achieves tiers differently, okay? I could, you're gold 5 or something. I could tell you, okay, I could coach you on something, a specific method, okay? I could give you a specific champion pool and tell you to do this thing every single game. Now, you may lose 10 games in a row first, okay? Kind of like how I dropped, fucking 400 LP on Nasus before I recovered all of my LP, learning him again or something, right? You could drop really low. You might even drop into Silver 4, okay, trying to do this. Once you have the mechanics of it down, okay, you follow exactly what I'm saying. Now, it's one of many abusive things, okay? You'll just instantly go to Platinum, okay? If you follow what, you just follow that one belief, okay, or that one approach to the game, that one strategic approach, your win rate will increase on it. Now, you won't have this 70% win rate. You won't have this, 80%, win streak with sick KDAs or something, okay? But I promise you that your win rate, whatever it is now, it will be increased. It may not be by a lot, but you will slowly and steadily make the climb because this method alone is greater than any current knowledge you have of the game, okay?
I feel like this is one of those ads you see on spammy news sites, LS develops this one weird trick for gaining ELO. ELO boosters hate them.
No, but
you know those ads?
No, but it's real. ELO boosters have techniques. The most famous here. I'm gonna go to this fucking page right now. Hold on. Are you looking at my screen here? Riot does nothing about it. Here it is. #1 boosting team in Korea. This is the most famous ELO boosting team in all of Korea. Okay, the Con team. Okay, now look at this. It has fucking 16,000 likes. Okay. Has their phone number, it has everything. Riot does nothing. Absolutely nothing. They don't give 2 fucks, okay? if you look at some of the match histories of these guys, okay, you'll notice that they build the same exact way, and if you watch the replays, they play the same exact way until a certain elo, depending on the elos. Okay? Obviously, when you start to get up to where players are starting to use their brains more, not that, like, platinums and golds are, like, brainless. Well, to a degree, they kind of are. And I don't mean that,
I
like,
get what you're saying.
offensively.
Yeah.
Like, when they begin having to play cerebral, then obviously things change. But one of my old Korean friends, okay, I'm not gonna mention his name or whatever. He spoke really good English. We were pretty okay friends actually for a short period of time. He was an elo booster and he made a shitload of money. Every single game, okay, he just picked one champion, went top lane, same runes and mastery setup, and he played the same exact way. If he couldn't get that one champion, he had one champion for jungle, okay, and he played the same exact way, and he would just mute everyone. And these were his jobs that he would do for bronze, silver, gold, platinum, okay? He would just play the same fucking way. Now, he did not have a 100% win rate, you know? Could he have won some of the games had he played a normal champion or done, you know, something, you know, a little different, or like had he, you know, played it more serious? Probably, of course. But the fact of the matter is, it was a very brainless, zombie-like way to just approach, you know, like the gameplay. Okay.
Right. So the concern with doing that is, aren't you not learning all of these other fundamentals by only focusing on this one specific mechanical thing? Or are you just saying, I don't care, I'm going to learn this one thing, get it good, and the rest will come with time?
Well, no, all that I'm saying is that your elo is it's fictional.
Okay, sure.
That's all that I'm saying, is that this does not exist. This Gold 5, it doesn't exist.
That's a relief. Don't
Because,
have to feel
okay,
embarrassed
look,
about
look,
it
look.
anymore.
Like, okay, so, no. Like, obviously it exists to a certain degree. It's meant as, like...
I totally understand what you mean.
But, like, Challenger...
Yeah.
Let's just say this, okay? Challenger is, what, 2,500 or something, I think? I think it's 2,500. But if you go and look at Korean pros on OpGG or something, their MMR games are 3,100 to 3,300.
Right.
There's no tier for this. Where the fuck's 2,600? Where's 27? Where's 28? Where's 29? It doesn't exist. You can't just categorize it. This is basically like fucking like Magnum condoms that say that it has extra like fitting or something. Like, it doesn't actually matter. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, that's why I wish they would just bring back showing us our elo, but
it's the stupidest fucking shit. It's like when Apple, every time they come out with a goddamn new product, like, it doesn't actually do anything.
yeah.
Like, anyways, so you have like these things don't have names. You know,
Right.
like, and this is because it doesn't need a name. You don't need a name for this. So if you don't need a name for these, then why the hell do you need names for Gold 5, Gold 4, Gold 3, Gold, you know, etc. It's so that people can feel accomplished. That's it. Because you don't want to be told that you're basically the kid going 1-8 at his local Friday Night Magic every single week. That's actually what this is. So this basically lets you tell little Timmy that went 0-9, okay? Like, hey, I'm better than you.
You still got gold, yeah.
Exactly, I still got
gold,
gold.
but you're silver, lol.
Congratulations, you got a D+ in the fucking special ed class. Like, obviously, like, you're not fucking special ed because this is average, but, and not that bronze or silver is special ed either, but, like, I'm trying to, like, give analogies that people will understand, and I'm wording them aggressively so that it maybe makes a point or, like, challenges people to think, you included, and, like, for fuck's sake, like, I remember Greg Idra Fields, he made a comment about someone winning, like, NAWCS or something, or being the best Protoss. Something was like, congratulations, you're the best Protoss in NA. That's like being, you know, that's like feeling accomplished that you got a D+.
Yeah, it's not an accomplishment.
Right, it's not an accomplishment, right. So, like, this is all that I'm saying. Now, first off, I'm promising you this, okay? If you change your champion pool, you will go up in elo.
Okay.
Okay, that's number one. If you get away from the Corki, because first off, if you could land a skill shot, okay, like his ult, like accurately and consistently, okay, you wouldn't be here. Okay?
Ouch.
This is basically like telling me that like you're trying to play calculus, okay, but then you're failing the algebra 1 test. Okay, like it's
But
like
my brother works in NASM and he does calculus, so I want to do calculus, damn it.
God. and then
So-
the greatest thing this is the greatest example, okay, is when people tell me that, hey LS, but I played with my platinum buddy in platinum and I'm silver 3 and I did really, really good in that one game and whatever. Well, guess what? Let's go back to the Magic the Gathering deck for a second, okay? Let's go all the way back to this, okay, for 1 second. Okay, so this Magic control deck, okay, all right, he drew a really, really, really good hand, okay? And the really good hand is responsive to his other 4 teammates, okay? So it's like the League player got 4 really good teammates, okay? This, red deck hand, okay, it drew really, 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 really fucking bad, okay? Like maybe the person was just having a really bad game, okay? So this control deck player wins, okay? And then they go off talking all the shit in the world like they're like this really, really good player, okay? And they think that they actually belong here because they took 1 game off the guy that was like 7-1, okay? Now, see, this is my problem and why I always voice my what some people call it bad-mannered opinion of foreigners and stuff, was because Koreans used to go over to MLG, okay? And sometimes a foreigner would take a best of 3 off them.
Oh, I hated that so much.
And you
This
have
guy.
you have all these people that ride that foreigner. They're like, wow,
Yeah.
took
Wow,
a game
you beat
off.
the guy who just got off a 12-hour plane ride and is not used to this format, like, and it's not hard to take a
It's
best
not
of
even
3.
that. Exactly. It's
Yeah,
not hard to take a best of 3. But then they come over to Korea and they train in the team house and they don't even go 20%.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Now, what 20% means, okay? Now, I'm gonna bring up poker really quick, okay? Like, let me just bring up, like, a fucking fictional hand or some shit, okay?
Right.
So,
like,
you pull up aces versus ace-king or something, okay? A really gross, a really gross statistic, okay? But this ace-king hand, it does win a percentage of the time.
yeah, it still beats ace.
It's still
if you get a
sometimes. Well, you have to get 2 kings. You can get a straight. You can get a flush.
Yeah.
Like you can get 4 to a flush. You can get
But it's like if we were to play poker, if we played 2 hands, maybe there's a chance I could make some money off you. But if we were to play 10, 20, 30 hands, it'd be increasingly obvious that you're a better player than me.
Yes, exactly. Yes. See, so that's the example that I'm trying to make right now. Okay, is that even ace king beats ace. Okay, the same way that a silver player, yeah, you might take a game off a platinum player. Does it mean you belong there? No, ace king has no business beating ace. Do you know what I mean? It does not. You run that deck, so many times, and ace king loses. Okay, but like something just went wrong. And in League, where you have the other 4 variables, okay, like the other 4 teammates, okay, this kind of goes back to the Magic the Gathering example, where this is basically like drawing a really good hand.
Of course, yeah.
And then this person just got a really bad hand. So it doesn't matter. If you actually deserved to beat this person, okay, or you actually deserved to contend with them, then you would get there. You would not have struggles, going through certain individual tiers or ELOs, unless there's some reason behind it. Like, legitimately, you don't play a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you
Like,
play...
There's variance in individual games. I could get Cloud9 Meteor Smurf on my team, and he could get the Silver 4 3000 Urgot player on his team by bad luck.
Well,
but over the course of even 10 games, all that variance is gone. It goes away.
I'll explain the variance right now with Magic again, okay? It's like you take... I'm going to use Brian Kibler, okay? He's a really famous Magic player that goes back many years, okay? Even... Now, if Brian Kibler's been out of the fucking game for a really long time, okay? He's still a good player. He knows how to get back to the top. This goes back to that 80% thing, okay? He knows how to get back there. He can contend there, and he can play there, okay? But if he enters the tournament with this really bad deck, like the deck's like, 70% because he's missing cards...
It takes the Murloc deck in.
Well, no, not even a Murloc deck. He's using a Murloc deck that doesn't have all the Murloc cards. Okay? Like, so there's only so much he can do. Okay?
Right.
And that's the same way that, like, if you take a pro player and he only plays, 2 2 games a week or something, and his mechanics, he's very reliant on mechanics. And I'll compare this to like people that they don't work out for a while, but they don't lose muscles. But then you have the people that if they don't work out, all their muscle turns to fat really quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it was like Nanywa, you said like you have to play 2 hours a day just so you don't lose your mechanical skill. And if you want to improve, you gotta play more than that.
Yes. Now, I'm a player that suffers very heavily from mechanic stuff. If I don't play League for a day and I go back after 2 days, for some reason I'm really, really bad. Obviously that has to do with muscle memory. I don't know what causes it. Mm-hmm. Then you have people like Scarlet, okay, and I can attest to this. I witnessed her not play StarCraft 2 for about 5 weeks. She did not play a game. And then she played a few games and she was back at, the same level she was at before.
Well, that's just Scarlet. No one knows how her brain works.
No,
well,
yeah,
so
but I'm just using.
Yeah, there's just
right.
all different types of people.
So, anyways, this analogy.
So going back to the champions and going away from Magic, because I don't play Magic.
Okay.
It's sort of like, so you beat Lieutenant Surge, you got your 3rd badge. You're better off using some Pokemon who'll actually listen to what you have to say than trying to trade for a Rayquaza and use him.
Oh my God, I have a different way to word this. Okay, so Mew. Okay,
Right.
Mew.
Okay.
Mew has a really big potential for power, right? If Mew gets to level 100, okay, or something, Mew can learn like every skill in the game. Mew has a shitload of base stats, etc. But when you get Mew, Mew can be 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Mew at level 5 is still strong. It's still stronger than the majority of Pokemon. This is kind of like Rise.
Okay.
Or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can, he's got like he scales linearly with player skill.
Right. But even his base value is powerful.
Yes.
Okay? And then you have champion, but then you have like Rayquaza or something, right? And I'm just using Pokemon Emerald because that's like the last game I played, so I apologize to all the fucking Pokemon fans or something. But you have Rayquaza, okay, and there's a requirement to use him at full capacity. Mm-hmm. Which is, you have to have all 8 badges or something, right? Like, you have to be able, in order to control a Pokemon above X level, you have to have all 8 badges. And so that, in the same sense, that's the same thing with League. Is you don't have the badge to properly control. Now, Rayquaza will still listen to you, even if you don't have that badge. Even if you don't have it, But sometimes you're going to tell Rayquaza to do something, and it's going to say Rayquaza refuses.
Yeah, something like that. I haven't played Pokemon in a while, but...
Right. And it's the same way that you're going to tell Thresh to be Mad Life, and Thresh is going to turn and laugh at you.
Yeah, so you're better off just sucking it up and using a Charmeleon or a Janna that will do what you want it to do. And that's not to say that they can't be played at the top level. It's just Thresh cannot be played at the low level.
Yes. You can't even capture Rayquaza until, you know what I mean? Until after you did all this other type of shit.
Right.
But then there's other examples. I'm just using Rayquaza, but
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying though. Is that you can't play Rayquaza just like you can't play Thresh or like Jace if your mechanics suck. It just is going to end horribly.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, so first off, you're going to change your champion pool. That's number 1. Okay? Like, I don't care how you change it, but if you're genuinely serious about, like, if you want to improve, okay, come back to these champions later. Put this deck down, okay, put the hand lock down, okay, improve your base understanding of card advantage, life point trading, minion trading, mind games,
just by playing the Murlocs for a while.
Not even just the Murlocs. You can play like the, Zulok or something.
Yeah, okay.
Just stay away from the really, weird shit. That it works because there's so much potential. Okay.
So what would you recommend? Just while I have you here.
Janna's fine. Janna's fine. Karma support is like a champion that a lot of lower ELO players don't play, but she deals a lot of damage and it's kind of hard to suck at her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
okay.
I totally know what you mean.
Annie, what made Annie become bad at the pro level does not exist at the low level. You know what I mean? God, I know you don't want me to use the fucking card analogies, so I won't. But there still probably exists like old decks, like Exodia decks or something. I know you said you know Exodia. I could still probably, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in years, okay? I could still probably construct like the most recent played Exodia deck, go into a tournament and do okay against like
because what counters Exodia is some specific high level game knowledge that people won't have at the low levels.
Or they just won't have the cards. You know what I mean? To have proper decks and like all this other stuff.
So whatever it is, for example, I made Annie not viable at the pro level. People at the low level aren't gonna stop at their gold 5. They don't like, Annie,
it's
I'm gonna get one shot.
Yeah, right. They don't have it. You know, it's kind of like I don't know how to word that any more than I already did.
You don't need to. The point is taken.
Yeah. So, anyways, so that works. So you have to change your champion. I'm sorry. Okay. The other thing. Okay. I tell this to people. They never do it. Okay. You ping a lot. Do not be afraid to ping a lot. Now, I've personally witnessed this coaching people. I've personally witnessed it playing on NA myself. You ping more than like twice, and people tell you to shut the fuck up and calm down, or like whatever. Well, okay, if I take you and I put you in a team with 4 people that are speaking like African tribal, okay, like they're all on TeamSpeak, okay, and they're speaking like tribal, you can't communicate, okay? But the same way that I don't know how to say the number 2 in Swedish, or I don't know how to say 2 in Swedish. I don't know how to say it, okay? The same way that I do not know how to say this equation in Swedish, it does not matter. Because numbers are a language. Okay? It is a language. That is a language. And we
the same way League is a language.
Yes, good.
So
League is a
that's
language.
That's
right.
why you have all these Koreans on the Chinese teams. They don't even have to speak Chinese. They're like, they know.
Yeah, that's actually
game theory
true.
And game laws don't change depending on your nationality.
Yes, that's true. Same thing with chess. You don't have to speak the language of your chess opponent to show chess. There's many times, if you watch a chess competition, where after the match, even if both players do not speak the same language, they can put the pieces on the board and use their fingers to point to stuff. And then they can nod agree or disagree. Because what this means, okay? Like, okay, have you ever I saw something on Reddit. It's kind of like what is a deaf person think of? You know what I mean? Like, what does a deaf person think in terms of like images, or or how do they associate a memory? Maybe it's not deaf. Maybe it's mute, or no, it has to be deaf.
Something, yeah.
I think it has to be deaf.
Like,
and
what's their interior monologue?
Right.
Or something
They responded that they don't have audio stuff. Like, it's someone that used to have hearing but doesn't anymore, and they don't have audio in their mind anymore. They see like slideshow images, and that's how their memories work, or like something like that. Like, everything translates differently. No, it's not blind. People in chat. But anyways, I don't know how to say 2 + 2 = 4 in Swedish. I don't know how to say it in German. I don't know how to say it in French.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it in Spanish.
But the concept remains the same.
It remains the same.
You can still communicate that concept.
Right, exactly. If I ran up to a random Korean and I asked them what's 25 + 25, but and I said it in English, they might not know. I write it on paper and they can provide me the answer. Okay, and now the issue. Oh, okay. So moving forward, you gotta ping more, okay? And this comes back to the language, is because if not everyone is on the same page, because you're not at that 2700 ELO where everyone knows what the hell's going on and everyone knows, okay, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Then you have to communicate through ping, okay? And I always say 3 to suggest it, 5 to command it, okay? Don't be worried about what, Big Timmy 27 is going to say to you in chat, or like what Mother Cruncher 666 or something is like going to respond to you, okay? You just mute them.
That's key, because I'm always like embarrassed when I try to suggest things. Like, I'll click next to the tower so they don't know it was me who suggested we go attack it. Like, I don't want them to get mad at me.
No, yeah. So just it doesn't really matter. Just fucking ignore them. With how big League is, you're probably not going to run into them again.
Yeah.
Okay? The same way that if I go to a regional, tournament, like, if I go to a regional tournament for, like, a card game or something, I'm probably never seeing those kids again.
Right.
I don't care what the fuck is said at the tournament. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? So just ping more, okay? Like, legitimately, ping more. The other thing is, outside of that, don't get mad at losses. Don't get ladder anxiety. There's no reason to get ladder anxiety, okay? Because no one's watching you. Your job, your life is not affected by your ladder rank.
Right.
No one cares. You could have told me at the start of this session, Platinum 5, okay? And I don't care. Doesn't change anything. Platinum 5, Gold 5, same shit. Literally, same shit.
Okay.
Okay? If a beagle takes a shit and a husky takes a shit, same shit. Okay?
Well, I'm sure a biologist could tell the difference.
Holy fuck. Yeah, the same way Riot lets you tell the difference with a fucking border on your profile. Like, so, basically, stop caring about that, and then you'll actually notice improvement off that alone, okay, if you stop caring. Because when you start playing to actually learn instead of caring about your ladder rank, now everyone says that, oh, I don't care about ladder rank, I don't care about, getting to this tier or doing that. Bullshit, okay? Because the reason that I'm going to say 90% of people get coaching is so that they can improve their ladder rank. You know what I mean? Like, God, honestly, it's to get better, okay? And when they mention their ladder rank to me, several times throughout a session or something, obviously they're fixated on rank, but they shouldn't be. There's no reason to be.
Right.
Okay? Now, Gold 5 is a really funny thing, okay? Because if I were to give you a Silver 1 ID or a Silver 2, I can almost promise you, because, again, the difference in ELO, okay, is so small in terms of MMR, all right, that you wouldn't notice. Honest to God, you would not notice. That you would not be able to tell the difference. There's, like, no difference. There actually is not a difference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, there's that. I don't know if you duo queue. Duo queue can be okay, but as long as you and your duo queue partner don't suck each other's dick like you're doing a 69, like...
Yeah, I fucking hate that.
What, the duo queue or the 69?
Yeah. Well,
I'm not judging, so...
69.
Like, fuck. So anyways, we do that. And so what do we have so far? So we have your champions, we have your ELO thing, we have the
So
analogies.
just while we're on the topic,
Right.
what
Go ahead
are
and-
some good, easy mechanical champions to play? What are the Mews? What are the Charmeleons that I should be playing instead of the Rayquazas?
Okay. It's just like my recommendation, okay? It doesn't mean that, again, it doesn't mean you can't play legendaries, okay? Like I brought up the Mew analogy, okay? There are champions that are played in the pro circuit that are actually, like, you can play them. Like, Orianna is kind of one of them. Orianna's like Mew. Orianna's Mew, okay? Like, she actually is, like, the queen of mid. You know what I mean? It's been, like, 2 fucking years. That bitch is still in the meta. She, like, fucking refuses to leave like she's Britney Spears. Like, like I don't know what to say about her. Like, no, I really was like Lindsay Lohan. Like, like, there's obviously those people that have fetishes for her, like, sometimes they, like, never let her down, but, like, she comes in and out of the limelight. Like, every time you fucking hear of her, it's usually in a bad way, but, like, I don't know, like,
There's some people who like Irelia.
Oh my god.
So, okay, so what are, for example, some marksmen, because we gotta call them that now, that I should be playing instead of Corki Virus Solution?
Play Graves. I don't know, like, Graves is actually really good. Like, okay, Graves has good burst, he has good durability, okay? He has durability that is really heightened in the early stages, which really helps because at your ELO, players don't understand trading. Okay, so his increased durability is actually really powerful, okay? he's basically Lucian in some ways, okay? He's just like an aged Lucian. You know, like, I don't know, he's Eminem and Lucian's Hopkins, okay? And so Graves is actually fine, okay? And he has a reasonably good auto attack. The things that Graves sucks at, okay, is not abusable by people at your ELO. You know, like, okay, so Caitlyn versus Tristana. All right, let's just use this as an example. Caitlyn versus Tristana, okay? At pro level, go and watch a Caitlyn versus Tristana. Pro Caitlyn, pro Tristana. The matchup is measured by the Tristana's ability to not get obliterated. That's actually how the matchup's measured. But if we go to Gold 5 or we go to Platinum 5, sometimes the Tristana beats the Caitlyn. You know what I mean? Like, because it's so volatile and it's so random because they don't understand how to play against each other. Okay? Like, anyways, so Caitlyn's okay, Graves is okay, Lucian's okay. Stay away from Ezreal, you're gonna end up in jail. And, Jinx is actually fine. Jinx is okay too. Jinx is like the Siri of your Ezreal. You know what I mean? Like Siri, like Ezreal's like the iPhone, which is like a disaster.
Oh.
And then
okay.
like Jinx is like Siri. Like no matter how bad you fuck up, like it still tries to help you. Like Ezreal's all skill shots. I mean Jinx kind of is to a degree, but it's a lot harder to fuck up Jinx's. Like oh my god. So anyways, so, like someone in Tetris SC just said in chat, you ignore high mechanical requirements to actually just focus on your foundation. Because when you're trying to build this house, okay, it's like you're building this like really big glass like wall, okay? And what ends up happening is that you don't have any foundation. Like you literally just have like a fucking house with 4 walls. Okay, and it may look really nice and pretty on the outside, kind of like your $50, Pulse Fire Ezreal skin. But on the inside, that Ezreal is crying himself to sleep because, like, that house is going to come tumbling down, all right? But, like, with Graves and shit, you have your cement, you have your bricks, you have your foundation, you have the proper,
Yeah, and once
everything.
you've built that up and have internalized that, you will...
Then you buy a new house.
Yes, right. You will, 1, have the foundation to be able to properly play Ezreal, and 2, you probably will be at the ELO where it's necessitated to get away from Graves and move on to, like, Ezreal or Corki, because Graves' weaknesses will be exploited. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes. Okay? So,
Cool.
like, anyways, like, here are your 480 carries, okay? Like, and you can even include Tristana, but, like... That's kind of awkward. Like, whatever. Like, you don't have to listen to me. Again, by the way, like, stuff I'm saying is not gospel, okay? I'm not fucking...
Of course.
I'm not Ocelot, okay? Like, I don't know everything, alright? So, there's your 480 carries, okay? And then, what else? Top and support. Okay, well, let's look at a few top laners, okay? Ryze just got gutted, okay?
Okay.
But... what gutted Ryze is not relevant at your ELO.
Gotcha.
Okay? The Renekton that you're still facing in lane cannot tell that there's 80 damage missing from your Q. Okay? Like, he doesn't even realize it.
That's so mean to say, but it's probably true.
Yeah, so... Anyways, okay, so let's have Ryze, okay? Pantheon top, that's okay. Okay? That's fine. Alright? Yorick, no. You're basically, like, you're trying to play a Magic the Gathering deck, okay? Because his ult is reliant on someone, okay?
Gotcha.
Why are you putting faith into people?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, basically, you're the person that's in the math class, okay? And you realize that you want to get out of the math class, okay? But you don't know if the other people in your class want to get out. And then it's like you're picking someone at random to help you with your math project. You just don't do that. You don't, willingly do that. But if for some reason you're in university down the line, you're doing your grad and, you're trying to get your fucking everything done for college and everything, then yeah, the people in your class are probably all like on the same page as you, aka higher ELO.
Gotcha.
Okay? So anyways, so stay away from Yorick. All right, there's other top laners that we can go to. You can kind of do Aurelia. Aurelia kind of falls into that like that Janna field where like she can be brought to an entirely new level, but you know, like it's kind of But
What about Cassadin?
What? Who?
Cassadin?
Kassadin?
Yeah.
Have you been missing what we've been talking about?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of OP top champions.
This deck right here, this magic deck, this is OP. Can you play it? No. Fuck.
All right. Who should be the third top laner? Who will help me summon Bronzodia?
Who will help you? You just technically said it yourself. You could play Malphite. I mean, it doesn't just have to be a third top laner. Like, you could play Vladimir. It's kind of hard to Vladimir is like, you know, like he's in that Zed, not Zed thing. He's like in that Orianna thing, like the Mew analogy that we gave. Like he can be taken to a much higher level, but it's pretty hard to fuck up as Vlad. But yeah, so you know, like there's other Oh, I didn't even put Aurelia yet. Like Aurelia's here. Let me open up League. Okay, top laners.
Urgot.
Could do Tryndamere, because what's required to punish you is not present at this ELO. You know what I mean? And then you just get better, like as the game goes. Okay, so let's write Trend. These are just available. Like this isn't only champion. Like I'm not telling you play these. I'm just like writing out like potential.
No, this is good because we're trying to focus on the mindset more than anything, I think, instead of the specifics.
Lissandra's fucking overpowered as fuck at your ELO, and she only gets better. She's like kind of like not the Zed thing, because she's not like as difficult as Zed, but she's kind of like that Orianna shit. You know what I mean? Like she scales with skill, like linear, but she has really good base.
Instead of some exponential skill where they suck at low ELO like Zed, but then they get really fucking good when you get good.
Right. Whatchamacallit? Stay the fuck away from Gnar. Holy shit. Stay away from Nasus. Stay away from Nunu. Mundo's okay, but only pick Mundo against double AP.
Okay. What do you think about Taric? I hear he's pretty overpowered top lane.
Do you remember that thing that we did over here with like 600 A decks, 292 B decks, 30 times C decks, 4 times D decks, and then we had like 11 times E decks? You just brought up that one never right here. Okay?
Yeah?
Alright. It's not... I'm gonna forget what we just talked about. Okay? I haven't given up on you yet, but... like... Holy shit.
Dude, he's got a point-and-click stun. That is the most overpowered thing.
Oh, fuck.
He's like Rise 2.0. Okay, enough of this. I'm trolling you at this point.
Okay. Alright, so... Who else is there for top? I mean, I'm sure there's a few others, but you get the point. You know
yes,
what I mean?
I think we've sort of covered champion pool and champion selects.
Okay, so let's go. Now, you can... there's obviously more here, like Tryndamere's there. You could even play Master Yi top. Okay, so then we go into... what the fuck? Support. Okay, so we have like Janna, like Karma, have like Annie, have Morgana. Okay. Who the fuck else is there? Stay away from Alistair, stay away from Thresh. Soraka. Not hard to fucking press E and W. like, okay, what else? Like, Vi to a certain degree, not Vi, Jesus, God, Braum. Oh my God, I like looked at
Okay.
Vi's image. Okay, Braum to a certain degree, Leona, like these aren't, you know, but stay away from, you know, the Thresh, the Blitzcrank, the, you know, like, Thresh, Blitz, Jesus, who else? Lulu, like that requires like you knowing exactly how Pixie and everything works, you know, like, jeez, and obviously there's other abstract supports that exist and whatever. So,
Yeah, like Nar support. I heard he was good.
Jesus, you're trolling me so hard right now. No, like Fiddle support, yeah, Fiddle, Nami, Fiddle, Nami.
Right. So
cetera. Okay.
the overall, I guess, point of this is when you play these things like Thresh and Nami, not only is there so much you have to process, there's a lot of mechanics that are involved, and so it's better to play the less skill-intensive champions, so that you can focus on fewer things at once.
Yes,
Okay,
that makes sense.
it does.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're learning. Okay, now the things that I'm saying, okay, about these current champions, all right, so this is kind of what we were talking about a few hours ago before we even began this call, was about how skill translates over permanently for video games. Permanently.
Yes.
Okay? The thought process and the breakdown of some of the stuff that we've been talking about here will apply to every single video game you touch, every card game, okay, to a certain degree, in its own unique way. You know what I mean? Like, there will always be something that applies, okay? In some aspects more than others, okay? But, you know, that's important to remember. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was, I guess, like, hold on. Playing enough, okay? What I mean by playing enough is there's some people that they come to me and they're like, I've been in, you know, I just got into Gold 5 a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I haven't been able to move up. And then I look at their OpGG and they've played 12 games. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, let's say that a work week is 40 hours, okay? 12 games is not 40 hours. You know what I mean? In terms of, like, work or whatever. There are some Koreans that play double this in a day. Or, in some cases, they can play double that amount in a day. Okay? When ELO boosters do an ELO job, okay, it generally takes them 3 days to complete. You know what I mean? And that's them playing, like, 15 hours a day. Okay? So, you have to give yourself time to see results. Like, this is basically like, yeah, I just went to the gym last week, and I weighed 200 pounds, and this week I'm only 199. You know, like, okay, maybe you're doing some shit bad. You know what I mean? But you haven't had enough time. You can't actually see results. Like, fuck, you know? So, it's you can't be the guy that plays 1 or 2 games a day and then you have a 50% win rate or you have a 50 to 55, okay? So you're actually reasonably within the ELO, but because of that 55%, you would move up if you played enough.
Gotcha.
To be honest, you would, okay? But you don't play enough to move up. So you feel like you're stuck when in reality you're not, you just don't commit enough time.
I gotcha.
Okay? Oh, jeez. Okay. I hope that makes sense.
It does.
God damn it. Alright, hold on. I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
Ugh.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, shit. Alright, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so... Moving forward. Okay, do you have any questions? Because I don't
Nope.
know what more analogies and other stuff
No, I
to-
think you made some pretty good points. It's pretty, yeah.
Okay.